Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me for teaching number one. I sent you an email about the 5 truths that are going to really bug you, upset your day a little bit, maybe even cause you some frustration. I will probably offend a few people, lose a couple professional relationships. Boo-hoo for me. I tend to be a little bit of a people pleaser and push into the truth, but I don't want to offend people. But to be honest, when I look at the health of people and the frustration when they don't accomplish their goals, I'm more tired of that than I am trying to please people, if that makes any sense. So, without going too far into that, I'm going to just shoot real straight with you. For those of you who don't know me, I've been in practice almost 20 years. I started off as a typical chiropractor working on pain, and I morphed into somebody that is just more of a detective and a coach for health, trying to find out what things are blocking your body from healing itself or what roadblocks you have that are redirecting your path. And most of us want to be on the right path. So if you see my eyes go over here, I have a few notes. I'm not really a real note presentation polished kind of person. I just like to go through a few bullets, but I'm only going to take few minutes of your time. I think this will be valuable and important. One thing, as I'm looking at myself, because you know how these video cameras show you what you're looking at, which is great, but it's really hard not to be distracted by me. My wife told me always take pictures from high up because you don't want the double chin. And as I'm looking at this camera, it is actually pointing up, not down. But my chin's looking pretty good. I'm down about 30 pounds this season, so I think I could pull this off. If I'm wrong, please be brutally honest with me. Just send me a little email responder saying, no, you need to have the camera up a little higher. The other thing is, if I go a little higher with the camera, I do have no chin, but I get a little shiny up here, and with my hairdo, I think this is the perfect angle. So, being silly with you guys, kind of. 30 pounds down in 27 months. That's where I'm at right now. And I've done that. I mean, that sounds terrible to most people. They're saying, what? That's less than a pound a month. I lost a bunch in the beginning, and then I plateaued, and then I lost a bunch, and you know how weight loss goes. But the reality for me, I want to be my best fighting weight I can be. I want to be lean and mean. I actually want to be leaner and less meaner. I've kind of got the two flip-flopped over the last few years. And I'm trying to get nicer, but I am trying to lean up. And for me, I had gotten heavy. I mean, I'm a pretty muscular guy, and I'm not very tall, so I start looking more like a barrel or a rhinoceros. I'm not a long, lanky kind of person, so I could hide it well in clothes, but I just wasn't feeling healthy. And I have a lot of cancer and heart disease in my Sicilian heritage, so we're all about 5 foot nothing, 200 pounds, and live a long time, but cancer after cancer after heart attack, and I just don't want to go down that road. So I've dropped about 30 pounds. That doesn't account for the muscle I've gained. So, but my point is, I found a strategy for my body. And it really was the only strategy. I've done things before. I've gone weeks without eating. I've water fasted. I've done high intensity diet or exercise. I've done ketogenic diets back 20 years ago before they were called keto. And every diet you see now is just a rebirth of something that's already been come and gone in the past. So nothing new under the sun. I just want you guys to know that. And in fact, it kind of bugs me because it just don't work. It doesn't work. If you scour the internet right now, just go online, you're going to find somewhere between 4 and 20% of people who do dieting or wellness health programs to lose weight will actually keep their weight off long term. And it's not just weight, because the same things that make us gain weight are the same things typically that will cause other symptoms like chronic pain, depression, insomnia, gut problems, and then on to bigger and better things if you don't handle those, like cancer, diabetes, autoimmune, dementia. Just look at all the prime real estate in all these nice cities. Now you see these big memory care facilities going up. Kind of scary, guys. Follow the money trail. Those things are not cheap. It means there's a need and people are desperate to get help. So back to the dieting thing though. You guys want to know who are the 4% of people who got the best results, right? The 4%ers. Or up to 20%, but really the people who succeeded, and this is just more than a year, this isn't even 5 or 10 years, that gets a little more discouraging. But who are the people that did that? They are the people that had, number one, community. They had the right people around them, not just accountability, not just somebody like me, not just somebody, at Weight Watchers weighing them every week, which is helpful, not because of necessarily what they're doing, but the community and social. And I'm not trying to bash any program, but a lot of them are very flawed. But the community portion is brilliant when it comes to things like Weight Watchers and programs where you get together. So you need a community, guys. You need somebody to do this with you, not just accountable. Accountability is different than just somebody in the trenches with you. And a lot of times people fail to bring their family and close friends into the struggle, even though they all kind of have it together or they all see it. There's a level of vulnerability I would challenge you to have where you go home and talk to your spouse and your kids and your coworkers, especially if you're like a teacher or you got a student lounge where, we're in November now and they're still putting Halloween candy out. And the teacher's lounge is a scary place. It's like carbohydrate purgatory. That's where all the bad carbohydrates go to get redeemed through the digestive tract of these poor teachers. So anyhow, you need community. You need people in the trenches with you, talking, going on your walks with you, talking about food preparation. But here's what we want. Just give it to me. I'll do anything. I will. I'll exercise. I'll take these pills, potions, lotions, and it's going to take me 3 months, and I'm going to lose 40 or 50 pounds, and I'm going to feel great, and I'm not going to gain it back. And people do that cycle over and over and over and over. And spend a fortune doing it, and it just leads to more frustration. So number one for success, guys, write that down: community. And we could expand on that more. I try to create community in my office, meaning it's not just me. In fact, I think my assistant, Linnea, is probably equally as responsible for people's long-term results, because she comes alongside of them and checks in on them and is that smiley, friendly face that makes my office safe and a place where you could just go, and in the big scheme of things, it's not just the information or the services I provide, it's that community effect. It's that family kind of feeling. So got to have that. Number two, and I'll speed this up. Let me see, what's my timer doing here? I gotta talk a little quicker. I told you guys it'd be about 5 to 8 minutes, and I'm getting there. This is the brutal honesty part. I'm just going to get to it then. It's it really, well, you want the crops, but you don't want to farm. You know what I mean? You want the gold ring, but you don't want to go dig in the dirt to pull out micro flakes for a month that add up to be the ring. See, we're very spoiled in our culture. We get things very easily. We have good money and resources and things like that to grab that. We don't have to wait for strawberries in the summer. We just get them from another country where it's summer year-round, or greenhouses or things like that. So we're kind of spoiled like that. But does that make sense? You want the crops, but you don't want to farm. People are willing to do just about anything, but when it comes down to it, you guys, it's not just about hard work. It's about the right information, the right community, the right accountability, and the right expectations. So when I really started thinking about people, I don't think people are lazy. I see how hard you work to be well. I think you just have unrealistic expectations. I think the brutal honesty is that your expectations are so far off that they're not even close. And this is why you fail. And I'm not talking about just even weight loss. I'm talking about expectations in general. But when it comes to your body, your mind, your well-being, even your spiritual walk, I'm that guy for you right now, or I can be if you'd like me to be. I will walk the walk that I talk. But what I mean by all this is you got to understand you have a certain adrenal profile. Adrenal system is your ability to deal with stress. If you're not dealing with stress well, you're not going to lose weight. You have certain aches and pains and wear and tear on your body. If it's addressed, great. If it's not, it has to be addressed properly. And anything chronic doesn't make sense to the nervous system unless you've had recent trauma. There is no reason to have chronic anything. We make up all these things in our culture. Oh, that's arthritis, bursitis, chondritis. Oh, you're at a computer too much. And we go on and on. I mean, we create medical coding books with diagnoses, and they just get bigger every year. Or they're mental disorders. The reality is, guys, your check engine light's coming on. That's what a symptom is. You have to understand your body. I like to help people understand their bodies, because once you understand your body and your physiology and your ability to deal with stress, And do I have sensitivities and allergies to my food I'm eating, even if everybody else says it's healthy? For me, I'm drinking, typically it's organic espresso roast. I do it myself on a machine. I put in organic heavy cream just about all the time. And people say, oh, caffeine and fat? Oh my gosh. Or they say, oh, well, if Dr. Patterson does it, it must be good for me. But I don't know if this is good for you. This is good for me. I've tested it. I understand my physiology. I know what it does for me. I know the deficits it can cause. So healthy expectation, you guys. You have to know what you're working with. You can't just pick up a diet book and start doing it. Everybody can get a couple weeks of results. You lose a little bit of water, you lose a little bit of muscle, you're not burning any fat, and all you do is wear your body out so you start sleeping poorly. So what I want you to do, the take home here is, number one, community. Number two, healthy expectation. You better have somebody like me in your corner that you could talk to and evaluate you and do a consultation and really understand what's going on with you so you can set your goals right. Because you might be on this path and your weight loss or your healing of whatever illness you're dealing with might be on this path. And you could be the last person to know that, because there's a million paths out there. We're all different genetically, biochemically. And anyway, I'm not going to bore you with all that, but most people have no idea what their body should be doing and could be doing. So for me, it took me 2 years to get lean and mean. And I have a ways to go because I have very lofty goals for myself. And I can't compare myself to others. I have friends that do this for 3 months and they look visually much more what I want to look like than I do. But that's their body, that's their journey, that's their path. If I try to mimic that, I'll just get frustrated and give up. So we all have our own specific path. And I guarantee you, if you're watching this, it's because you haven't figured out your path yet. So let's help figure it out. And it has a lot to do with stress, emotions, structure, allergies, electromagnetic light pollution, toxins in the environment and your food. So you have to be in evaluation. That's just the physical side. Then there's the whole mental, spiritual, emotional side, which we won't get into today, but that will be in a later teaching. Holidays are coming. And I have a group of people every year that actually loses weight and drops their pain levels and has more energy by the new year. They do that through the holidays. You're welcome to be one of those people. Most people, what do? Most people stressed out, more alcohol, more sugar, more weight gain, less sleep, and then they try to have a New Year's resolution, and we all know that story. So, the last thing I wanted to say, when I was making my espresso out in the garage, and the reality is I earn my espresso. I have a machine that's very old, that's very dangerous. I got to keep it out in the garage because it spits and it shakes and it makes noises that I'm sure it shouldn't make, and I typically burn myself. I got to hold the plunger on so it doesn't blow off and shatter my glass, and so I earn my oily dark roast espresso. I'm not an automatic hit a button kind of guy. 2 reasons. One, that's the path I have to be on, because if I have a thing where you just put in a pot and hit a button, I would be drinking 25 of these a day, and I'd be more cracked out than you can imagine if you think I'm already speaking fast. Anyhow, that's a bird walk. But when I was out there, I was thinking, hey, community and healthy expectation, why don't I help you create community? Grab a friend, and if you want to participate in one of my winter programs where we actually get healthier and hit the new year already accomplishing the very thing that you try to do every year, I would love to invite you in. Let's do a BOGO or a twofer or whatever you call that. Just grab a friend and we'll just treat you as one person as far as the logistics and the finances and all that. And you guys could share the costs, or somebody could get a free ride or whatever. But that way I can help you have community, and I'll help you both with healthy expectations and go through the program. And if you want details on that, just shoot me an email or call Linnea at the office. They'll be at the bottom of this email. And God bless you guys. I want you to be well. I want you to have healthy expectations and a healthy community around you supporting you with realistic expectations for you and you for them. Okay, guys, that is teaching number 1. 4 more to follow, and I'll look forward to getting your feedback. If you have any questions or concerns, please just respond to these emails. They will come to me personally, and I will spend time answering your questions either on the next teaching or personally via email. Have a great day. Sorry I went a little bit long today. I'll try to keep it between the 5 and 8 minutes next time. Bye-bye.